You know, when you hear the words spy gadgets, your mind probably jumps straight to the movies, right? James Bond, exploding pens, that sort of thing. But the reality, well, the reality is way more interesting. It's not about fiction, it's about physics. We're talking about the very real science of seeing the unseen and hearing the unheard. So, let's dive into this fascinating world.
This quote right here, it gets to the very heart of modern surveillance. It's not really about force anymore. It's about information. It's about information supremacy. The absolute ultimate advantage is knowing everything about a target while you yourself remain a complete ghost.
And this whole invisible conflict, it's basically governed by a classic military strategy concept called the OODA loop. It stands for observe, orient, decide, and act. Just think of it like a really fast decision-making cycle. Whoever can spin through that cycle faster wins. So if you can stop your opponent from even being able to observe you properly, you've just shattered their entire process. But if they can observe you without you knowing it, well, they're already way ahead of the game.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to reform a kind of audit of this invisible arsenal. We're going to break down 5 key pieces of technology that are really defining this new landscape, taken straight from the world of elite operations.
So first up, let's get into the Hunter's Toolkit. We're going to look at these incredible tools designed for observation, especially when a target thinks they're totally safe and secure.
Okay, so here's a scenario for you. How do you listen in on a conversation that's happening inside a secure office, maybe on the 20th floor? You don't try to plant a bug. No, you use a laser. From another building, hundreds of meters away.
The idea here is just brilliant. When people talk in a room, their voices create these tiny, totally invisible vibrations on the window glass. What the laser microphone does is it reads those vibrations. It effectively turns that whole pane of glass into one giant microphone.
The physics that makes this possible is called interferometry. Basically, an invisible infrared laser is pointed at the window, and it bounces off. A special receiver then analyzes that reflected light, and it's so precise it can detect those impossibly small vibrations and translate them right back into crystal clear audio. It's literally reading the shimmer on the glass caused by sound. Wild, right?
All right, so hearing through windows is one thing. But what if there are no windows? What if you need to see through a solid concrete wall? Well, for that, you need a totally different kind of wave. Now, you might think of thermal imaging, but that gets blocked by thick stuff like concrete. This is different. This radar sends out low-frequency pulses that can actually penetrate up to a foot of solid concrete. And here's the brilliant part, it isn't looking for heat. It's tuned to detect the tiny micro-movements of life itself, like a person's chest moving as they breathe, or even the subtle beat of a heart. It gives operators a precise count of who or what is inside.
Okay, the next tool in the arsenal, it targets the one device that pretty much every single person on Earth carries with them 24/7. Their smartphone. So how do you find one specific phone in a city of millions?
You use something called an IMS eye catcher, also known by the brand name Stingray. It's basically a fake cell tower. It broadcasts a really strong signal, and our phones, well, they're programmed to automatically connect to the strongest tower nearby. And when your phone connects, it willingly hands over its unique ID and its precise location. It's kind of like a digital magnet, just pulling all those phone signals right to it.
Now let's talk about reducing physical risk. Sometimes the most dangerous part of an operation is simply peeking around a corner or entering a room blind. To solve that problem, you don't risk a person, you use a throwbot. And we're not talking about some delicate piece of tech here. This thing is a rugged little beast. It's a camera wrapped in a titanium cage, and it's literally designed to be thrown into a room or even dropped from 30 feet up onto solid concrete. It gives the team what they call tactical remoteness, sending back a live video feed so they know exactly what they're walking into.
All right, so the last tool in the hunter's arsenal is for a really tricky situation, when a target tries to hide in plain sight. They could wear a mask, change their clothes, but there's one thing they just can't change. And that's their walk. This is called gait analysis. It's a form of long-range biometrics that identifies people based on the unique way they move. See, you can hide your face, you can change your clothes, but you can't hide your own skeleton or the specific unique way your joints move. It's an unmaskable signature.
So, you put it all together. Tech that can hear through glass, see through walls, track your phone, and even identify you by how you walk. And yeah, it's easy to feel a little powerless. And it makes you wonder, right? Is privacy just a lost cause at this point?
Well, the answer is a lot more complicated and actually a lot more hopeful than you might think.
Because here's the thing. For every measure, there's always a countermeasure. History shows us this again and again. As surveillance technology evolves, so does the technology of protection. So let's flip the script and see how the prey is evolving too.
What we're seeing is the rise of what you could call a civilian shield. For one, it's in our hardware. New smartphones now come with lockdown modes that are specifically designed to stop them from automatically connecting to fake cell towers like that Stingray. Then you've got architecture. Designers are actually creating new building materials that generate a kind of subtle, passive noise to jam things like laser microphones. And finally, there's a legal and ethical shield being built, a big, global push to regulate powerful tools like gait analysis to make sure they're being used responsibly.
So what's the big takeaway here? What does all this spy stuff have to do with our everyday lives? Well, it's about understanding how this kind of technology always migrates from the battlefield to the world we all live in.
This quote says it all, really. Think about it. The GPS that gets you around town, that started as a military missile guidance system. The super strong encryption that protects your online banking, born from secret military communications. Elite tech almost never stays elite forever.
So what this all means is that modern security, it's not just about putting stronger locks on our doors anymore. It's about understanding the invisible environment we live in. It's about the waves of light, of sound, of radio that are constantly flowing all around us and through all of our devices.
And that brings us to what I think is the most important point of this whole thing. It's about what knowing this stuff actually gives you.
Look, the goal here is not to make you paranoid. It's the exact opposite. It's about being informed. Because simply understanding how these tools work, the physics behind them, that's the first, most powerful step toward having your own agency and making smart choices in this crazy, high-tech world we all live in.
So I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. When you see these incredible technologies, which can be used to protect us, but also to intrude on us, how does it make you feel? Safer? Or does it feel like a massive overreach? It's a question we're all going to have to answer as these tools continue to shape our future. Thanks for watching.